Okay, to start with, toilet wine turns out is a misnomer. The toilet is mostly a hiding place, and God knows it is not really wine, right? And Sean Diddy Combs is not the first prison inmate to get busted with it, allegedly. But Diddy may be the first to have once owned a vodka brand worth upwards of $1 billion. That would be Ciroc, which sold officially earlier this year for a fraction of that price. Ciroc is distilled 5 times from the finest French grapes, or so it claims. Toilet wine, on the other hand, is a fermented combo of Fanta, sugar, and apples. And though there are many variations, they are all alcoholic, which is the point, and all strictly off limits in lockup. But TMZ is reporting that Diddy has been caught with the stuff, this week in fact. He did have a birthday on Tuesday and was going to be moved to a new unit apparently as punishment, but the officials changed their minds according to the report.
Diddy is doing laundry in prison for 23 cents an hour. Let that sink in for a second. This is the same man who once owned a vodka brand worth over $1 billion. The same person who, according to federal prosecutors, couldn't even charge his own phone or fetch a bottle of water without calling his army of personal assistants. Now, he's washing dirty underwear for inmates at Fort Dix. And 50 Cent, he's having the time of his life watching it all unfold. The fall from grace is almost poetic. Diddy went from throwing lavish white parties where celebrities begged for invitations to folding prison uniforms in a laundry room, from sipping premium Ciroc vodka to getting caught with homemade toilet wine made from Fanta and apples, from being surrounded by yes men to being surrounded by inmates who see him as nothing more than a walking ATM. This isn't just a prison sentence, this is a complete demolition of everything Diddy built over 3 decades. TMZ broke the story about his laundry assignment, and the internet immediately erupted. People couldn't believe that someone who lived such an extravagant lifestyle was now doing manual labor that pays less than $1 an hour. But here's the thing, this wasn't an accident. The Bureau of Prisons knew exactly what they were doing when they assigned Diddy to laundry duty. This was their way of saying, welcome to reality. You're not special here. Now get to work. Former inmates have explained that laundry duty is one of the least desirable jobs in federal prison. You're dealing with other people's dirty clothes, the smell is terrible, the work is repetitive, and the pay is insulting. But for someone like Diddy, who had people doing everything for him, this is probably the first time in decades that he's had to actually work with his hands. Federal prosecutors made it very clear during his trial that Diddy was completely helpless without his staff. He literally couldn't perform basic tasks on his own. So throwing him into laundry duty isn't just a job assignment, it's a reality check. And 50 Cent, he's absolutely loving every second of this. When pictures surfaced of Diddy in the prison yard talking to other inmates, 50 posted them on Instagram with the caption, "He looks too happy with all those handsome men around." That's the level of pettiness we're dealing with here. But it's not new. 50 has been trolling Diddy for years, and now that Diddy is locked up with no way to respond, 50 is going into overdrive. During an interview, 50 explained why he doesn't like Diddy. He said there's no actual street beef between them, but Diddy once told him at Chris Lighty's wedding that he wanted to take him shopping. 50's response was immediate confusion and discomfort. He said that's what a guy says to a girl, not to another man. And ever since then, 50 has been suspicious of Diddy's intentions. Now, with everything that's come out about Diddy's alleged behavior, 50 feels completely vindicated. He's been saying for years that something was off, and now everyone else sees it too. But let's talk about what's really happening inside Fort Dix. Diddy isn't just doing laundry and minding his business. He's actively trying to build a network of protection and loyalty using the only thing he has left: money. Former inmates have confirmed that everyone in that prison knows Diddy is wealthy. And in federal prison, everything is a business. Inmates are lining up at his cell trying to sell him anything they can. Extra commissary items, phone time, protection services, you name it. They see him as a golden ticket, someone who can potentially change their lives if they play their cards right. One former inmate explained that people with money in prison don't have to worry as much about violence because they're more valuable alive than dead. Inmates want to befriend Diddy, not hurt him, because they're thinking long term. If they can get close to him now, maybe he'll help them when he gets out. Maybe he'll give them a job, invest in their business idea, or just send money to their family. So, despite the media reports about Diddy being in danger, the reality is that he's probably safer than most people think because everyone wants something from him. But that safety comes at a cost. Diddy is reportedly paying inmates to make toilet wine for him, buying protection from gang members, and promising people that he'll take care of them when he gets out. TMZ reported that Diddy has been walking around telling inmates that Trump is going to pardon him early next year, and that once he's free, he's going to help everyone who stayed loyal. Now, whether any of that is true is questionable, but it's a smart strategy. Diddy can't physically protect himself, so he's using the one advantage he has to manipulate the situation in his favor. The toilet wine incident is particularly interesting because it shows just how quickly Diddy's supposed transformation fell apart. Just weeks ago, he stood in front of a judge and swore he was sober for the first time in 25 years. He wrote this emotional letter about how prison changed him, how he'd found clarity, and how the old version of himself had died behind bars. The judge took that into consideration during sentencing. And then what happens? Diddy gets caught drinking homemade alcohol that was allegedly brewed for his birthday celebration. Former inmates explained how toilet wine is made. It's not actually made in the toilet bowl. That's a misconception. Inmates use a large, clear garbage bag, fill it with fruit, sugar, and whatever else they can find, and then hide it in the toilet tank. The fermentation process takes days and smells terrible, which is why the hiding spot is so important. When you need to flush, you pull the bag out, do your business, and then put it back in. It's a whole operation that requires patience and planning. But here's the problem. Getting caught with alcohol in prison isn't just embarrassing, it has serious consequences. You can lose phone privileges, commissary access, visitation rights, and potentially spend 30 days in solitary confinement. More importantly for Diddy, it could disqualify him from the RDAP program, which is a drug rehabilitation program that can take up to a year off your sentence. Diddy specifically requested to be transferred to Fort Dix because they offer this program, and now he's potentially thrown away his chance at early release because he couldn't stay sober for 2 weeks. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, predicted this would happen. Months ago, when Diddy was crying about being a changed man, Gene said it was all an act. He said Diddy had enough money to get the best treatment, the best therapists, the best rehab facilities. If he really wanted to change, he would have done it years ago. But he didn't, because he didn't think he needed to. Gene said that in Diddy's mind, he won. Even though he's serving time, he got away with decades of alleged abuse and only got 4 years. So why would he change now? Diddy's team tried to deny the alcohol incident, releasing statements saying he hasn't violated any prison rules and that his sobriety is a priority. But then court documents revealed that shortly after arriving at Fort Dix, Diddy was caught making 3-way phone calls, which is a violation of prison policy. This is the same violation he got in trouble for at MDC Brooklyn. He knows it's against the rules, but he did it anyway. That tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He's not trying to follow the rules, he's trying to see what he can get away with. The 3-way call situation is interesting because Diddy claimed he was talking to his legal team about issuing a statement to the New York Times. But prison officials don't care what the call was about. The rule exists for a reason, to prevent inmates from coordinating illegal activities or tampering with witnesses. Diddy thinking he deserves special treatment because he's famous is exactly the kind of entitled behavior that got him into this mess in the first place. Now let's talk about the safety threats. During his sentencing hearing, Diddy's legal team mentioned that he'd woken up with a knife to his throat at MDC Brooklyn. They painted this picture of Diddy being vulnerable and in constant danger. But a former inmate named Raymond Castillo came forward and said that story was completely exaggerated. According to him, Diddy was watching TV when a gang member tried to take his chair. The situation escalated. The guy went and got a shank, but Diddy handled it calmly by trying to de-escalate and even offering to pray with the guy. Whether the knife incident was exaggerated or not, the threat is real. Diddy is a target for multiple reasons. He's famous, he's wealthy, and he's been convicted of crimes involving women. In prison culture, that makes you a mark. Some inmates will test you just to see how you react. Others might want to hurt you to make a name for themselves. And some might see assaulting you as a twisted form of justice. Diddy's lawyers have openly stated that their biggest concern is him being violently or sexually assaulted while serving his sentence. That's why the pictures of Diddy hanging out with gang members in the Fort Dix yard are so significant. He's not just making friends, he's arranging protection. Those are the people he's been bribing with promises of future opportunities. And 50 Cent, ever the troll, posted those pictures with commentary about how happy Diddy looked surrounded by handsome men. The implication was clear, and the internet ran with it. But here's what most people don't understand about prison dynamics. When you have money, you can buy a certain level of safety. Not complete immunity, but enough to make most people think twice before coming at you. Diddy is reportedly paying inmates to watch his back, make his bed, clean his cell, and handle various tasks. In a medium security facility like Fort Dix, that's usually enough to keep you relatively safe. It's the higher security prisons where having money doesn't matter as much because people are serving so much time that they have nothing to lose. Diddy's mugshot was recently released, and the difference is shocking. His hair is completely gray, his face looks drained, and he appears years older than he did just months ago. Prison stress will do that to you. The constant surveillance, the lack of privacy, the fear of being targeted, the complete loss of control over your life. It takes a toll. People who saw the photo said he looked anxious, and nothing like the confident mogul he used to portray. Now, let's discuss what happens after prison, because that's when things get really complicated. Diddy isn't just serving 4 years and then walking free. He has 5 years of supervised release, which means the federal government will have control over his life long after he leaves Fort Dix. He'll be subject to random drug tests, monitoring software on all his devices, constant check-ins with his probation officer, and mandatory employment requirements. The employment requirement is particularly interesting. Diddy is required to work 30 hours a week upon his release. Now, technically, he can choose what job he wants since he owns companies and is a CEO. But here's the catch, his probation officer can veto that choice. If they decide that Diddy's self-employment gives him too much free time and not enough structure, they can mandate that he get a different job. Can you imagine Diddy being told he needs to work at a regular 9 to 5 because his probation officer doesn't approve of his business activities? That would be the ultimate humiliation. He'll also have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Every time he travels, he has to check in with the local authorities and inform them he's in town. If he moves, he has to register at his new location. If he goes to Miami because his home is in New York, he has to tell the sheriff's department. This isn't something that goes away after supervised release ends. This is permanent. His life will never be the same, even after he finishes his sentence. And if Diddy violates any of the conditions during those 5 years, he goes right back to prison. Former prosecutors have explained that the first violation might result in 18 months behind bars. If he violates again, the consequences get worse. They've seen clients who couldn't stop certain behaviors, who kept breaking the rules, and ended up serving more time on violations than they did on their original sentence. One prosecutor specifically mentioned that if addiction is involved, it's incredibly difficult to maintain compliance. And given that Diddy allegedly got caught with alcohol just weeks into his prison stay, that doesn't bode well for his future. Diddy is also appealing his conviction. A federal judge approved his request to fast-track the appeal process. His legal team has until December 23rd to submit their opening brief. The prosecution responds by February 20th, and oral arguments could begin as early as April 2026. His lawyers are arguing that the judge acted as a 13th juror and second-guessed the jury's verdict. They claim the sentence was unconstitutional because the jury found there was no coercion, but the judge kept mentioning coercion as a basis for the sentence. The chances of the appeal succeeding are slim. Overturning a conviction is incredibly difficult, and judges have broad discretion when it comes to sentencing. But Diddy's team is hoping that if they can get even a slight reduction in his sentence, combined with good behavior credits and completion of prison programs, he could be out significantly sooner than 4 years. Of course, that plan requires Diddy to actually follow the rules and not get caught violating prison policy every other week. Then there's the whole pardon situation. Diddy has allegedly been walking around Fort Dix telling inmates that Trump is going to pardon him early next year. His lawyer, Mark Geragos, gave an interview where he hinted that something big was coming and said Diddy would make a comeback that nobody expects. When asked about the pardon rumors, Geragos smiled and said the reporting seemed accurate. That's lawyer code for yes, but I can't officially confirm it. But here's the thing, the White House has already publicly denied any plans to pardon Diddy. So either Diddy is delusional and making promises he can't keep, or there are behind-the-scenes conversations happening that the public doesn't know about. Trump does have a history of pardoning famous rappers, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But banking your entire strategy on a presidential pardon seems risky, especially when you're simultaneously violating prison rules and potentially adding time to your sentence. If Diddy does somehow get a pardon or early release without serving real time, he's going to have a different kind of problem. In hip-hop culture, getting out too easy means you snitched. Suge Knight said it himself. If you get no time after being charged with serious crimes, nobody in the streets will trust you again. Diddy would need 24-hour security for the rest of his life. He wouldn't be able to go anywhere without worrying about retaliation from people who think he cooperated with prosecutors. That might be why Diddy is making such a show of breaking rules and acting tough. Getting caught with alcohol, hanging out with gang members, making illegal phone calls, it's all performance. He's trying to maintain the image that he's still powerful, still living by his own rules, still someone who can't be controlled. Because if the narrative becomes that he's cooperating with authorities and giving up information, his life after prison becomes exponentially more dangerous. The sad reality is that while we're all watching this circus unfold, the victims aren't getting justice. Whether Diddy serves 4 years or gets out in 6 months, the people he allegedly hurt don't get their stories fully heard. The evidence that prosecutors seized will probably never be made public because it would expose too many powerful people. And the entertainment industry will keep operating exactly the same way, with the next predator already positioned to take Diddy's place. So where does this leave us? Diddy is washing prison laundry for 23 cents an hour while 50 Cent posts memes about him on Instagram. He's caught drinking toilet wine despite claiming to be sober. He's violating phone rules despite knowing the consequences. He's promising inmates he'll take care of them when he gets pardoned. He's arranging protection with gang members. And he's filing appeals that probably won't succeed. His mugshot shows a man who's aged years and months. And his future after prison involves 5 years of government supervision, mandatory drug testing, and registering as a sex offender for life. This isn't just about one man going to prison. This is about the complete dismantling of an empire built on alleged abuse and manipulation. This is about accountability finally catching up to someone who thought he was untouchable. And this is about everyone connected to him watching nervously, wondering if their name will come up next. Because if there's one thing we've learned from all of this, it's that no amount of money or fame can protect you forever. Eventually, the truth comes out. Eventually, you have to face consequences. And eventually, you end up doing laundry in a federal prison while your enemies laugh from the outside. This story is far from over, and Star Savvy is bringing you every update as it happens. Don't miss what comes next at Fort Dix and beyond. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game.